and welcome to the next edition of the Holland Land Office Museum's Artifact Video Series. My name is Ryan Duffy, I'm the director of the museum, and this week we're going to talk about one of the more odd businesses that popped up in Batavia's history, particularly in the very early part of the 20th century. And it's one that we can actually see many of its remnants around in terms of the products that it produced. And this company was Dr. Parker & Sons Pharmaceuticals and Elixirs. Now, Dr. Parker, as he was known, though he did not have a medical degree, was William Parker, who actually started the business in 1898. The site of his first business was at 158 Bank Street, where he would offer the public remedies for dyspepsia, and he would sell them in bottles of $25, $50 price ranges. He also offered a headache remedy that he sold in envelopes filled with pills, where one dose would be a nickel and you could get 5 doses for a quarter. So his first start out was in these very simple remedies that were supposed to get rid of very common ailments. By 1900, he actually moved to 8 North Street, where he would live the rest of his life, so his second business was also out of his home. He soon opened up a permanent business space at 90 and 92 Main Street, where he started making elixirs and other remedies, as well as mosquito repellent out of his laboratory there on the 3rd floor on Main Street. It was at this time that he made 2 of his more well-known products, a product called a Violet Hazel, as well as a hair tonic that he sold to many of the men in town. The company suffered a setback in 1903 when actually his laboratory space caught fire and destroyed much of the space, though it didn't affect a lot of his stock, so he was still able to sell many goods, but he had to find a new place to concoct his elixirs, and he moved temporarily to a small space at 6 Court Street. However, Parker had bigger things in mind and was actually working on building a larger laboratory and office space at State and Willow Streets. He built a large brick building which had a basement area, which was his laboratory, which was a lot safer than his previous spaces and could be more contained. And on top of that, the building was specifically built to be able to be converted into apartment buildings after its commercial use. It was at this new space that he expanded his operation and got into perfumes and other headache powders, mosquito repellents again, as well as baking extracts, particularly vanilla. And many of the local people remember the factory as the Vanilla Factory, even though that was only one part of the operation. Now, Mr. Parker's business flourished for a good many decades until 1937, when William Parker passed away, and it fell to his wife and son, though they were only able to keep the operation together for a couple more years. And by 1940, Dr. Parker & Sons was actually no more, though the amount of product that they put out there was truly astounding. And actually you can still find some of these bottles around if you dig hard enough, and we actually have quite a few of them on display here. It's amazing the range of products that were produced by Dr. Parker, and I can't speak to any of the validity of any of the things that they were meant to cure or help. Obviously, as they stayed in business that long, that people did appreciate the products and use them quite frequently. So I do have some bottles from Dr. Parker & Sons that I'd like to show off to you, and you get a good glimpse at what came out of the Vanilla Factory. So here we have a large assortment of different products produced by Dr. Parker & Sons, and they range a great deal from what they're meant to cure. We have extracts of vanilla, wintergreen, and pine. We have remedies for corns, for chapped hands, for the common cold. We have talcum powders. We even have perfumes, and in the back you might even see a bottle of olive oil. So the company truly produced a lot of different products that would treat any sort of remedy or help you in any sort of cooking situation. So he really was a man of many talents in terms of his chemical prowess. A lot of these we might see as sort of hack remedies today, but at the time they were seemed to help a lot of people. It often seems odd even to be making food products and chemical products at the same time in the same area So I think today Dr. Parker's manufacturing process wouldn't fly by safety standards at all, but it was a different time back in the early 20th century. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of our Artifact video series. And if you've missed any in the past, be sure to go check them out on our YouTube channel, Holland Land Office Museum. And we hope that you stick with us as we continue to make these videos. And if you've had your interest piqued by anything that we've shown, be sure to come on down and check out the things for yourselves.